Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as it seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in. Every bit of it.
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
Sean Diddy Combs is no stranger to controversy, but his latest legal battle is quickly becoming one of the most explosive in recent memory. The latest development, while rumors and allegations surrounding him have dominated headlines for months, the most recent twist in this ongoing saga is unexpected and shocking. Reports indicate that Diddy's legal team has made a significant, game-changing move in his fight for freedom, one that could reshape the entire trajectory of a case. But here's the real surprise. Diddy may not be facing this battle alone. There are growing whispers that the music mogul is negotiating behind the scenes, potentially agreeing to disclose the names of other high-profile celebrities in exchange for a secret deal that could secure his release. If these rumors hold any weight, Diddy might be revealing key figures in exchange for leniency, and the consequences could send shockwaves throughout Hollywood.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate, and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he won't get out until 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
It's no secret that Diddy's legal team has been working overtime to get him out of jail ever since his arrest in September 2024. After all, the charges he's facing, racketeering, trafficking, and more, carry the potential for a life sentence if convicted. Despite facing overwhelming odds, his attorneys have been relentless, filing motion after motion in an effort to secure bail for their client. So far, they've been met with rejection at every turn. But now, Diddy's team seems to have a new strategy in play, one that could make all the difference in the world. According to insider sources, Diddy's latest request for bail comes with a massive new offer on the table, $50 million in cash. But that's not all. The real shocker is that this new bail package reportedly includes a secret deal, one in which Diddy may be cooperating with federal authorities. Rumors are flying fast and furious that Diddy has decided to play ball with the FBI, potentially offering up information about some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry in exchange for his freedom. While his legal team has fiercely denied any such deal, the speculation alone is enough to send shockwaves through Hollywood.
If that's part of the indictment, that's almost like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak off. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
So, who might be in Diddy's crosshairs? That's the million-dollar question. Over the years, Diddy has been known to rub shoulders with some of the most powerful and influential figures in the world. From fellow music moguls to A-list actors, his circle of friends and associates reads like a who's who of the entertainment elite. If the rumors are true, some of these very people could soon find themselves under intense scrutiny. Industry insiders are already buzzing with speculation about who Diddy might be willing to throw under the bus to save himself. One name that's been floated in connection with this potential deal is none other than Jay-Z, Diddy's longtime friend and collaborator. The two music titans have a long history together, having worked on countless projects and attended some of the most exclusive parties in Hollywood. But could their relationship be more complicated than it seems? Some sources are suggesting that Diddy's alleged cooperation with the FBI might involve spilling the beans on certain events that both he and Jay-Z were involved in during their glory days. While there's no concrete evidence linking Jay-Z to any wrongdoing, the mere suggestion of his name being tied to Diddy's legal troubles is enough to set the rumor mill ablaze.
Jay-Z got his put by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You gotta imagine. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your for.
But Jay-Z isn't the only big name being whispered about. Leonardo DiCaprio, the Oscar-winning actor known for his wild parties and close ties to some of Hollywood's most powerful figures, has also been mentioned in connection with Diddy's case. DiCaprio has long been a fixture at Diddy's infamous gatherings, and some speculate that his presence at certain events could now come back to haunt him. While there's no hard evidence linking DiCaprio to any illegal activity, with Diddy reportedly ready to name names, anything is possible. And let's not forget about Usher, the R&B superstar who's been closely tied to Diddy for years. Usher was mentored by Diddy early in his career, and the two have remained close ever since. However, there are whispers that Usher might have been present at some of the same questionable events that have landed Diddy in hot water. While no allegations have been made against Usher, the mere mention of his name alongside Diddy's legal troubles is enough to raise eyebrows and fuel the speculation.
Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Of course, none of this is confirmed, and Diddy's legal team has been quick to dismiss any talk of a deal as nothing more than baseless gossip. However, the reality remains that Diddy's situation is becoming more desperate by the day, and desperate times often call for desperate measures. With his trial date looming in May 2025, it's entirely possible that Diddy is feeling the pressure to cut a deal while he still can. After all, if the prosecution's case is as strong as they claim, Diddy could be facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. For a man who has spent decades living in the lap of luxury, that's a fate he may be willing to do almost anything to avoid. But what would it mean for Diddy's reputation if he truly is cooperating with the feds? For someone who's long been seen as a kingpin in the music industry, turning informant could be a devastating blow to his legacy. Diddy has always prided himself on being a self-made man, someone who built an empire from the ground up through hard work and determination. However, if he's willing to sell out his friends and associates to save himself, that carefully crafted image could be shattered forever. It's a high-stakes game Diddy is playing, and the consequences could be far-reaching.
But one of the things that's going to happen, and I do believe that there has been a grand jury investigation that has been employed in this case. I think there may be a federal investigation going on, and there may be a stateside one, I'm not totally sure. But one of the things that the prosecution in any case is going to try to do is show that there is a pattern of behavior here.
For now, though, it's all speculation. Diddy's legal team is adamant that their client isn't cooperating with the authorities and that the government's case is weaker than it appears. In fact, they've gone so far as to accuse the prosecution of misleading the court about the strength of their evidence. According to Diddy's lawyers, the government has been exaggerating the scope of their case, painting Diddy as the mastermind behind a massive criminal enterprise when, in reality, the evidence against him is flimsy at best. They argue that the government has been relying on sensationalized stories from disgruntled former associates and unverified claims from people seeking a quick payday. One of the key pieces of evidence that the prosecution has been touting is a video from 2016, which allegedly shows Diddy engaging in inappropriate behavior with his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, during one of his notorious parties. However, Diddy's legal team insists that this video is being taken out of context. They argue that the clip doesn't show anything illegal or non-consensual, and that it's being used as a way to smear Diddy's reputation in the court of public opinion. In fact, Diddy's attorneys have gone so far as to claim that the entire case against their client is built on a foundation of lies and exaggerations.
Allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner of bad behavior.
Still, the government seems confident that they have enough evidence to convict Diddy on multiple charges. They've painted a picture of him as a man who used his wealth and influence to manipulate and exploit those around him, building a network of enablers who helped him carry out his alleged activities. According to the prosecution, Diddy's infamous parties were far from harmless fun. They were part of a much larger, more sinister operation that involved coercion and manipulation on a massive scale. While Diddy's lawyers have tried to downplay the significance of these events, the government's case continues to gain momentum. But what happens if Diddy is granted bail? That's the question on everyone's mind right now. His legal team has proposed a comprehensive package that includes round-the-clock surveillance and strict restrictions on his movements. They've even offered to put up $50 million in cash as a guarantee that Diddy won't flee the country or interfere with the case. However, the prosecution isn't buying it. They argue that Diddy is too much of a flight risk and that his history of intimidating witnesses makes him a danger to the community. In their eyes, letting Diddy out on bail would be a huge mistake, one that could jeopardize the entire case.
Scott, I think his attorneys raised some good arguments.
I think they raised good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation.
And then there's the issue of Diddy's potential cooperation with the feds. If he really is working with authorities, could that be enough to tip the scales in his favor? It's hard to say for sure, but what's clear is that this case is far from over. With Diddy's trial date still months away, there's plenty of time for new developments to emerge and for more names to be dragged into the spotlight. One thing's for sure, if Diddy is indeed cutting deals behind the scenes, the entertainment industry is in for a rude awakening. The fallout from this case could be felt for years to come, as more and more people are implicated in the scandal. While Diddy's lawyers continue to fight tooth and nail to secure his release, the shadow of this case looms large over Hollywood, leaving everyone wondering who might be next in the crosshairs.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for.
As the clock ticks down to Diddy's next court appearance, all eyes are on the music mogul and his legal team. Will they be able to convince the judge to grant him bail, or will Diddy remain behind bars as he awaits his day in court? And perhaps most importantly, what other secrets does Diddy have up his sleeve? Could his alleged cooperation with the feds lead to even more bombshell revelations about some of Hollywood's biggest stars? Only time will tell, but one thing's certain: this story is far from over. The saga surrounding Diddy has been brewing for months, and as more details start to unfold, it's becoming clear that this is much bigger than anyone could have imagined. Diddy's legal troubles didn't start overnight. In fact, they've been building for years. While some close to him might have seen the storm coming, for many, it's shocking to watch his empire teeter on the brink of collapse. The charges against him are serious, and the case is shaping up to be one of the most high-profile legal battles in recent memory. But how did we get here? What exactly led to Diddy's dramatic fall from grace? And what are the chances he'll actually beat these charges? The answers are still unfolding, and as the case continues, the world watches closely to see how it all plays out.
Diddy is now being sued in addition to what we just talked about by Dawn Richards. You guys will remember her. She was a part of Making the Band,
Dirty Money,
the Danny Kane era. So basically what she is alleging, she's alleging a lot of different...
It all started in November 2023 when Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit against him that sent shockwaves through the industry. Cassie, who had been in an on-and-off relationship with Diddy for over a decade, accused him of years of abuse and manipulation. She didn't hold back, making claims that painted a disturbing picture of their time together. According to the lawsuit, Diddy had not only controlled her life, but had also coerced her into situations that were beyond anything anyone could have imagined. It was a bombshell, and it wasn't long before the public began to wonder whether there was more to Diddy's image of a successful businessman and music mogul than met the eye. But the most shocking part? Just 24 hours after Cassie filed her lawsuit, it was settled. The details of that settlement remain a mystery, but it was clear that Diddy was willing to pay a hefty sum to make the problem go away quickly. In the eyes of some, this move only fueled the flames of suspicion. Why settle so fast if there was nothing to hide? It didn't help that rumors started swirling about Diddy allegedly offering Cassie an 8-figure sum before the lawsuit even went public, in an attempt to keep her quiet. Whether or not that's true, the fact remains that the lawsuit opened the floodgates. From that moment on, Diddy's life would never be the same. The drama that followed would only escalate, leading to the ongoing legal battles and intense public scrutiny that has put his entire empire at risk.
Criminal investigation for months by federal prosecutors here in New York, and if there are criminal charges, many of them may look a lot like what some of these individuals have been describing.
The Cassie lawsuit may have been the catalyst, but it was far from the end of Diddy's legal woes. Just days before the New York State Adult Survivors Act expired, 2 more lawsuits were filed against him. One was from an anonymous individual, while the other came from Joey Dickerson-Neal, who claimed that Diddy had assaulted her back in the early 1990s. For those unfamiliar, the Adult Survivors Act allowed victims of certain types of abuse to file civil lawsuits regardless of how much time had passed since the alleged incident. With the final date of the act approaching, it seemed like people were coming out of the woodwork, ready to bring Diddy down. The anonymous lawsuit was particularly disturbing, with claims that Diddy had engaged in behavior far beyond what anyone had previously suspected. Joey Dickerson-Neal, on the other hand, accused Diddy of giving her something without her knowledge back in 1991, which, according to her, led to an assault that was filmed and then distributed to others in the music industry. Dickerson-Neal detailed how this event haunted her for years, and how, after seeing the lawsuits piling up against Diddy, she finally decided it was time to speak out. If her claims are true, it raises serious questions about Diddy's behavior going back decades, long before he became one of the most powerful figures in the music world. The mounting legal battles have not only tarnished his reputation, but also sparked a broader conversation about abuse and exploitation in the entertainment industry.
This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cardello Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records, label owner.
As the lawsuits mounted, Diddy was forced to make some tough decisions. In late November 2023, he stepped down as chairman of Revolt TV, the media network he founded in 2013. Revolt had been one of Diddy's major business ventures, and his departure sent a clear message that the allegations against him were starting to have real-world consequences. Revolt issued a statement distancing itself from Diddy, emphasizing that while he had no day-to-day involvement with the company, his departure was necessary to protect its mission and values. For someone who had spent years building his brand as a mogul and entrepreneur, this was a huge blow, and the hits just kept on coming. By December, more lawsuits were being filed, including one from a Jane Doe who claimed that Diddy, along with 2 other individuals, had assaulted her when she was just 17. That lawsuit marked the 4th to be filed against him in less than a month and prompted Diddy to finally break his silence. In a statement posted on social media, he vehemently denied all the allegations, calling them sickening and accusing his accusers of being motivated by the prospect of a quick payday. He made it clear that he planned to fight back and prove his innocence. However, by that point, the damage had already been done, and Diddy's reputation had been severely impacted. The mounting legal battles and public scrutiny were taking a significant toll on both his personal and professional life.
At 5, the legal troubles continue for Sean Diddy Combs tonight after a judge ordered the music mogul to pay $100 million to a Michigan man who said that he was assaulted by Combs in '97.
According to court documents, Derek Cardello Smith says Combs and then assaulted him during an after party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit. But Combs never responded to the lawsuit in court.
As if the lawsuits weren't enough, Diddy's business ventures were also taking a hit. In December 2023, 18 brands cut ties with his e-commerce company, Empower Global, citing the allegations as the reason for their decision. Empower had been one of Diddy's many business ventures aimed at empowering Black entrepreneurs, but with the growing controversy, it seemed that no one wanted to be associated with him anymore. Some of the brands that pulled out released statements expressing their disappointment, saying that while they had once admired Diddy's leadership, the allegations against him were too serious to ignore. Then came the raid in March 2024. Federal agents from the Department of Homeland Security executed search warrants at Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. The raids were part of an ongoing investigation into allegations of trafficking and other serious crimes, and it was clear that the feds were taking the case against Diddy seriously. According to sources, the agents seized a variety of materials, including electronic devices and other evidence that could be used to build the case against him. Diddy himself wasn't home at the time of the raids, but his legal team was quick to respond, accusing the authorities of using excessive force and turning the investigation into a witch hunt. This move only added fuel to the fire, with many speculating about the extent of the charges and the potential consequences for Diddy. The mounting legal and business pressures left the music mogul fighting to save both his reputation and his empire.
I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in.
But it wasn't just Diddy's homes that were targeted. Around the same time, a man named Brendan Paul was arrested at Opa-locka Airport in Miami. Paul, who is believed to be connected to Diddy's inner circle, was booked on charges related to possession of certain substances. While it's unclear whether his arrest was directly related to the case against Diddy, the timing certainly raised eyebrows. Paul's arrest added yet another layer of intrigue to the already complicated case, leading some to wonder just how deep this whole thing really goes. As the investigation continued, Diddy's legal team fought tooth and nail to get him out on bail. They made multiple requests, each time offering more money and stricter conditions, but the judges weren't having it. Diddy was denied bail not once, not twice, but 3 times, with the court citing concerns that he was a flight risk and that he might intimidate witnesses if released. His legal team responded by accusing the government of exaggerating the evidence against him, claiming that the case was weak and that prosecutors were using the media to paint Diddy as guilty before he even had a chance to defend himself in court. The battle for bail continued, but with each denial, the stakes grew higher, and Diddy's situation became even more precarious.
Interesting because I think, we've seen many photos, videos of Sean Combs, aka Diddy, through the Associated Press, through Instagram. And so to see him kind of in person after being in jail for 3 weeks now was pretty interesting to say the least. And I say that by being that you would expect him to feel a little defeated, a little gaunt, anything like that. But it wasn't that case. He appeared confident.
Despite the setbacks, Diddy's legal team wasn't ready to give up. In May 2024, they filed yet another motion for bail, this time offering $50 million in cash and proposing 24-hour surveillance to ensure Diddy wouldn't flee the country. They also pointed to 2 other high-profile cases where defendants accused of similar crimes had been granted bail, arguing that Diddy deserved the same treatment. However, the prosecution pushed back, insisting that Diddy was too dangerous to be released and that the evidence against him was stronger than his defense team was letting on. As Diddy remained behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, more shocking revelations began to surface. In May 2024, a video from 2016 was leaked to the media, showing Diddy in an altercation with Cassie at a hotel. The footage, which was obtained by CNN, appeared to show Diddy shoving Cassie to the ground, kicking her, and then dragging her down the hallway. It was a disturbing glimpse into their relationship, and while Diddy's legal team tried to downplay the significance of the video, it was hard to ignore. Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, released a statement calling the video gut-wrenching and praising Cassie for her courage in coming forward. The video added further fuel to the already fiery public discourse surrounding Diddy, painting a much darker picture of the mogul's past relationships and personal life.
To be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of being incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
The video only added fuel to the fire, and it wasn't long before Diddy found himself facing even more allegations. In May 2024, a former model named Crystal McKenna filed a lawsuit claiming that Diddy had assaulted her in a New York City recording studio back in 2003. According to McKenna, she had been given something to drink that she later suspected was spiked, and after the incident, she woke up disoriented in a taxi. McKenna's lawsuit named not only Diddy, but also his record label, Bad Boy Records, and his clothing brand, Sean John, accusing them of enabling his behavior by continuing to employ him despite knowing about his alleged misconduct. As more and more lawsuits piled up, Diddy's once untouchable reputation was crumbling. Even his children were starting to feel the effects of the scandal. In October 2024, Diddy's 6 children released a joint statement on social media expressing their support for their father and calling the allegations against him false narratives. They insisted that Diddy was innocent and that the truth would come out in court. But by then, the damage had already been done. Diddy's empire, once a symbol of success and power, was starting to look like it had been built on a foundation of lies, and the public perception of him was rapidly changing.
And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or a restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid.
With his trial now set for May 2025, the question on everyone's mind is, will Diddy be able to clear his name, or is this the beginning of the end for one of the most powerful figures in the entertainment world? The stakes couldn't be higher, and as more evidence comes to light, it's becoming clear that this case is about much more than just Diddy. The rumors about who else might be involved continue to swirl, and if Diddy really is cooperating with the feds, Hollywood could be in for a rude awakening. This legal battle is far from over, and as the pressure mounts, it's uncertain what the future holds for Diddy and his once untouchable empire. Will he be able to survive the storm, or will his legacy be forever tarnished by these accusations and the fallout that follows? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the entertainment industry is watching closely, and the consequences of this case could echo through Hollywood for years to come.
That means is the money that they're saying Diddy has to start paying this guy on October 1st, Diddy's team is like, hold on, we need an emergency conversation about why this should not have been granted. And they awarded him a TRO, which basically meant that Diddy's team was not allowed to sell any property in that state or anything related to what could be used to pay the plaintiff.
The next few months are sure to bring even more twists and turns in this already convoluted case. With so many lives and careers on the line, it's anyone's guess how it will all play out. Will Diddy finally secure his freedom, or will he remain behind bars as the trial approaches? And if he does manage to get out, what other secrets might come to light as he fights to defend himself? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. As always, make sure to subscribe for the latest updates on this story and more. Stay tuned.